Cues. Hello, thank you for joining me for another episode of Mind Cues. Today, we're going to talk about the disappearance of Dorothy Jane Scott. Let's get started. Dorothy Jane Scott disappeared on May 28, 1980 from Anaheim, California. She was a single mother living with her aunt and her 4-year-old son. She was a secretary for 2 jointly owned Anaheim stores. One sold psychedelics and the other was a head shop. I think that has to do with marijuana, but I don't know because I don't do drugs. Coworkers and friends said that she preferred to be alone, and her parents, who often watched her son, but there was no one steady in her life. For months and months, Dorothy had been receiving strange phone calls from an unidentified male. If you watch Criminal Minds, you know that we call those unsubs. The guy who was calling her will alternate between telling her that he loved her so much and telling her that he wanted to kill her. Her mother remembers one call she got where he said, "Go outside, I have something for you." So she goes outside. Oh my God. And there was a dead rose on her windshield. Another time, her mom said one of the calls horrified her. The man told Dorothy that he was going to get her alone and cut her up into tiny bits and pieces so no one could ever find her. Ooh. Because of those phone calls, Dorothy began considering getting a handgun. Whew, child. You should have been had one of those. About a week before the incident, she started taking karate classes. On May 28th, at about 9 o'clock, she was at a work meeting, and she noticed that her coworker Conrad had a red mark on his arm, and he wasn't feeling good. So Dorothy and her other coworker Pam took Conrad to the hospital at UC Irvine. On the way, she stopped at her parents' house to check on her son, and she was wearing a black scarf, but she changed it to a red one. I don't know the relevance of that, but it's noted. The hospital determined that Conrad had a black widow spider bite. Dorothy and her coworker Pam stayed in the waiting room the entire time. Pam said at no time did Dorothy leave her side while they were there waiting for Conrad. So the coworker Conrad was discharged and given a prescription around 11 o'clock at night. Oh shoot. So Dorothy told them, "Hey, I'm gonna pull my car around to the front and pick you guys up because I don't want Conrad walking too far." So Conrad and Pam went to the pharmacy to fill his prescription there in the hospital, and Dorothy went outside to go get her car. So after they filled the prescription, they were waiting at the front by the exit, waiting for Dorothy to pull up in the car. And after a few minutes, they're like, "What's going on? Where's she at?" So they went out to the parking lot to look for her. Oh, Dorothy's car was driving right towards them with the headlights on, blaring like they could not see who was driving the car. They were waving their arms, trying to get her to stop, and nope, just went right for the exit, made a right. So they have no idea if Dorothy was driving the car or if someone else was driving the car. Pam and Conrad thought maybe something happened to her son and she had an emergency and had to leave and go get him. A few hours after not hearing from Dorothy, Pam and Conrad reported her missing. About 4:30 the next morning on May 29th, Dorothy's car was found burning in an alley about 10 miles away from the hospital. And Dorothy was nowhere to be found. So Dorothy went missing May 28th, 1980. Okay, so here's a really creepy part. About a week after she had disappeared, back in 1980, her parents received a phone call from a guy saying, "I've got her," and hung up. Oh, this same guy called almost every Wednesday afternoon saying that he had Dorothy or saying that he had killed her. Oh my God. The phone calls were usually very quick, and they usually only occurred when her mom was at home. In April 1984, the man called in the evening, and her father answered the phone, and the call stopped. On August 4th, 1984, a construction worker found dog and human remains about 30 feet from Santa Ana Canyon Road. The bones were partly charred, and authorities believe they had been there for at least a couple of years because there had been a fire in that area in 1982. Oh my God. They also found a turquoise ring and watch, and it stopped on May 29th at 12:30 a.m. That was about an hour after she went missing from the hospital. On August 14th, the bones were identified as Dorothy's by using dental records, and an autopsy could not determine the cause of death. And then on August 22nd, a memorial service was held. After the bones were discovered, the calls started again. The police installed a voice recorder at her parents' house, but they weren't able to trace any of the calls because he didn't stay on the phone long enough. Oh my God. So Dorothy went missing May 28th, 1980. On June 12th, the unsub called the front desk at the Orange County Registrar, which is a newspaper, and he said, "I killed her. I killed Dorothy Scott. She was my love. I caught her cheating with another man. She denied having someone else. I killed her." Ooh. Wait a minute. The editor of the paper, I don't know how long you talked to this guy for, but he said that the guy knew that her coworker Conrad had a spider bite that night, and he knew that Dorothy was wearing a black scarf and changed it to a red one, and he said that Dorothy had called him that night from the hospital. But her coworker Pam said, "That is not true. She was with me the entire time that we were waiting at the hospital." Oh, maybe it's Conrad. This guy called the paper like 2 weeks after she disappeared. None of that stuff had been made public as far as what she had been wearing, where she had been, or anything like that. Oh my God, what if it's her coworker? Oh my, this is an unsolved case. I don't want to say that. Investigators believe that the caller was the man who killed her because he knew all this stuff. Oh my God, what if it's Conrad? Well, no, it can't be him because her car went like driving towards him when he was with Pam. So it's not her coworker. Well, at least it's not that coworker. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know if I want to publish this story. What if he's still out there? I mean, this happened in 1980, but still, that's not that long ago. Oh my God. Anyways, Dorothy was never to be seen again. Her bones were found. I don't know what happened to her son. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. People are crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's it. I did not read about this murder mystery before I did it. So now I'm kind of freaked out that I did it and it's unsolved and we don't know what happened. Whoever it is, I hope you are not paying attention to this. Don't come after me. Oh my God, I'm scared. Okay, that's my cue. Until next time, survive your mind.